Hey yo, what is up, Quantum Crew? You guys know me. If it involves high level engineering with the Create mod or bringing prehistoric giants back to life, I'm 100% in. Lately, my two favorite things in Minecraft have been gears and dinos. And realistically, I've been living the dream because, I'm on the official Fossils SMP. But if you're just now joining us, or, it's been a while and you need like a little refresher, well, we've done a lot, so before we dive into the deep end of this Megasode, I just have to show you guys a little flashback to something that makes me laugh every time I think about it. But I took my eyes off Banana, and that's always a bad thing, because out of the corner of my eye, I realized he's gone, and I thought I saw some movement. Hole is 16 items. Oh, he's in my seaplane.
Hijacking your plane.
That thing's cool because you can take straight off like a rocket.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Good luck getting out of it, though.
Oh, why is it still going?
Oh yeah, Jacob ran into that problem too. I don't know. My plane's just broke as jank.
Oh, get in the plane.
Come back, come back, come back.
Oh god.
I got you. Oh.
Yeah, that happened. But it's just bound to happen when you have such goofy neighbors. But now it's time for the full story. So today is the ultimate recap of my first 5 episodes on the Fossils SMP. You're going to see how a bare plot of land transformed into this professional Dino Lab, featuring all the Create mod machinery, our iron farm, and that iconic park gate that I thought was really cool at the time, but now I'm having second thoughts about. Little spoiler alert, I might be making it a lot cooler in the near future. But anyway, this journey had some serious peaks, quite a few valleys, trust me. It was frustrating at times. But it did have a lot of highlights, including this one that I'm still really stoked about. And there it goes. As you can see, every time that it clears, it gets filled again with gravel, and all that gets washed. All the way at the back end down here. The nuggets go in. We have 7 right now. 8. 9. 13. Jeez, wow. Alright, and once it hits 9, it becomes an ingot. Gets crushed, and then the ingots actually end up getting pushed out. You'll see one pop up here in just a second. As soon as one more of these guys crush. There goes one, and there goes the ingot. The progress has honestly been insane, and I can't wait to show you how it all connects. So it's time to buckle up and get into the origin story of both my island and my lab. But before we do, a massive thank you to the loyal Quantum crew for being here since day one. You guys make it possible for me to have these massive projects, and I really appreciate you. So let's get to work. If I don't get a chance to talk to you before it's over, then till next time, this is QuantumZobua. I love y'all, and let's watch this thing. If this bridge, keep in mind, oh hi. If this bridge is anything like the art and the detail that I will see on the server, then it's going to be such an amazing, incredible time. And look at this. I can fly. I can fly, and I'm not talking elytra. I got a oh, what is that? Oh, it's been expanded. I didn't even notice. Anyway, I don't need elytra. I have a plane. So, I'm not going to hold you guys up anymore. Let's go check out my first episode. Alright, you guys, so the first thing that I did is I actually grabbed Jacob from the Sauropod Squad channel and Coda from Coda Corp, of course. And they were kind enough to give me a tour. So basically, they kind of showed me around spawn. I know you guys have actually seen this bridge already, but they gave me my first plane. I am still so stoked. Every time I take off, I feel like I'm going to stall it, but dude, it is so much fun. Eventually, we did get to Coda's Island Resort. His house. It's super cool. I was blown away by the fan. I think I stared at it for like 2 or 3 minutes because it is just so cool to watch an actual fan turn like that on a bearing in Minecraft. Afterwards, he did take us downstairs where below his house, he showed us he has a lab and he showed us where we can get some food. So we have a little farm set up for the server that actually makes us egg sandwiches. These egg sandwiches have been feeding the server for the longest time. And basically, it's just you take an egg, you fry it, you throw it between 2 pieces of bread, and you got yourself an egg sandwich. After that, we cruised around to a few more people's houses until we came across this beautiful, beautiful site. I don't want to show everybody's house because I know a lot of people are trying to save some secrets for some of their own videos. You're just going to have to go and follow and subscribe to them to kind of check it out. But look at this beauty. We have the building that is actually like the skeleton of a dino. And we have a revolving observatory. It actually spins. All right, after we left here, last but definitely not least, was Jacob's house. This is going to be amazing. He's making a whole park out of it. I mean, you can see what he's done already, and he has just barely started getting any dinosaurs. He's talking about hundreds of dinosaurs. So we do have the windmill. We have the start of a workshop directly under me right now. And as he pointed out, from day one, he's actually had a little, like a dirt airport, but it's somewhere to land your plane. It was really, really cool. So once we landed and I got out, he showed me his first building that he wanted to show me, which was his workshop. When you come in here, it's a basic create workshop. I'm super excited because until I get mine up and running, I'll be here a lot. It's got deployers, it's got crushers, it's got everything you could possibly want. From there, we took a walk inside of his visitor center. You can see a little entry gate, all kinds of stuff decorated already. And then this was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. You go outside, it's a beautiful, amazing view. And his waystone. Plus a giant, what is that, like a brontosaur? It's some type of a sauropod. Skelly. I mean, it's a skeleton, man. Once we went back inside, he decided to show me a little bit more of his visitor center. So he's actually got a lab down here where he can make the dinosaurs. This is like some straight up Jurassic Park stuff. And then we came to the final room. It's still work in progress, but I think I'll let him describe this. It was kind of funny.
Vault, right? So these scale up and up and up depending on how big you want it. And honestly, we're not too safe in here, so I'm asleep. I had a creeper fall on me the other day. I haven't lit up the roof yet because this is.
Oh, there's a creeper
finished.
up there. Watch out. He just peeked out at that corner.
Oh, you're not even pulling my leg? There's
No.
actually one.
Yeah, he just dipped back into there.
Let's get out of there. It's unfinished.
Yeah, I watched him peek out. That's funny. All right, so I ended up choosing an island to make my base on. I thought it'd be cool because I think this season I'm going to go for making like an aquatic park. I'm going to have like a water tour that's part submarine underwater that's going to basically be a self-guided tour of all these different aquatic dinos. On top of that, I want to have a bunch of different farms. I want to have all kinds of stuff. But once I got out to my island, which by the way is the farthest west, it's slightly west of Jacob's base, I did, you know, the Minecraft thing. I don't care if they gave me some iron and stuff. I need more wood because I realized that there is a giant cavern and I'd love to make that the entrance to my park. So once I had gathered enough supplies, I actually turned around and started beating the crap out of all of the mobs. I had drown, I had skellies. I mean, this place was dark and it took me a while to fill up. And dude, I've never seen so many little zombies. Oh my god, man. I thought that there might be a spawner at one point just because they were all over. But I never ended up finding it. So once I had finally cleared it out and lit everything up so that stuff would stop spawning on me, I realized I want a massive, massive gate at the front of my entrance. I mean, I want this thing to be like 20 blocks tall, 25 blocks tall, and like 15 blocks wide. Just outrageously huge. So I started digging. And digging. And digging. Yeah, I know I could have used a create mod here, but I'm still really early. I'm basically brand new, so I dug. And dug. But then I had this. It may not seem like much, but this hole, this entrance, whatever you want to call it, felt like such an accomplishment. This was my first big, I don't know if I can call it big, my first thing that I did. Even if I didn't build it, I just destroyed it in the Fossils SMP. This felt great. I mean, we got to get the view from the outside, and I gotta tell you, I know it's just a hole, but it looks great. When we add a gate onto that and actually make it a proper door, it will give off that vibe of a mega entrance to a mega park. So in order to make this giant gate, this giant entrance, I had to come up with the design. I went with basically a frame made out of stone mixed with a couple different types of wood going down, just making these huge doors. In order to get that much wood, I needed a wood farm. I knew one person that had it.
All right, welcome in. So you two are wondering how this works, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, first off, it's full. So let me pull out a bunch of stuff. Here's my bulk storage.
Gotcha,
Down
okay.
here, which I have asked. You could feel free to pull stuff out, but I asked please run
Run the machine to back it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in here looking at it, and it kind of looked like the whole system that we had on that other server where it like chops the wood and stuff.
It is
Pretty cool.
exactly that. Yeah. It should be running. Maybe it's off. There we go. It was off. So yeah, spins around, chops down the trees, and it's just manual placement. So you just got to swap out the trees and you swap out the filters, right, to tell which tree to plant. So it's currently doing spruce. Almost is always doing spruce or acacia because that's like the only wood I use. But it runs, what I got the signs out here explaining what it does. Spruce, birch, cherry, oak, and acacia. Jungle and dark oak don't work. Well, dark oak works, but manually. You have to like manually plant it and then I'll chop it down. But dark oak is obviously 2x2, right?
Oh yeah, so you have to manually plant singles.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, so now that I had my wood down, it was time to figure out stone. Alright you guys, so check it out. One of the really cool mods that we have is a bunch of different tables by the chipped mod. And basically, if I go over to like the carpentry table and I put in spruce planks, look at all these options. Like, this is insane. More importantly, I can make all this out of cobble. Look at this, it's outrageous. Not only can I make single ones, but I can make wider, taller, 2x2, whatever the hell I want. It's really cool. Now that I have a hole cut out, I don't have the door designed, don't have the gate designed, I still have to close this up. But I got some grand plans, so check it out. Basically, the monorail comes straight across. Let me look at the map real quick. The monorail comes straight across the ocean here. And it broke off somewhere. Let's see. Here is Sauropod Squad, Jay's base. He said that his rail's going to come around here, so it's going to break off somewhere up here. Kind of follow along the river to this point. Then it's going to come straight across and it's going to be a monorail when it breaks off of his instead of a train, which will be really cool. At that point, it will enter here, right where I am, and actually end basically right about here, give or take. They get off on the left. I'm thinking up above, I literally have a bunch of glass with some light shining through. I leave those holes. Because I fill it with fish. You look up and it's nothing but fish because it's supposed to be an aquatic park. Over here, I take this and I kind of set it off as well, and I'm not sure what I'm going to put in there yet. Maybe like some turtles or something, but again, it's going to be something where you can walk on top of the glass right here and you can see them, and I'll have different lights down in there, not torches but actual lights. So you light up the water and you can actually see them. I think I'm going to leave the magma because it's just so cool. Right about here, I'm thinking I'm going to build a big table that's set into the ground just a little bit so you can walk all the way around it with a fence. And what it's going to be is it's going to be a bunch of maps of my island. And I'm going to update them. They're just going to be, base Minecraft maps, but it will basically be a map of the amusement park as I build it. And then I'll probably have like, I don't know, a few fossils on display or something over here, or something like that. That entrance is going to be closed off. That's all going to be closed off. Basically, then you walk down here, and of course this is going to be much nicer. And as you walk down and up the stairs, I'm going to have little cutouts on the left and right with different skeletons, like the fossils of set up on display of some of like the aquatic creatures and things like that. So So then what I'm thinking, let me back up so that I don't end up dying out there. But what I'm thinking, essentially, way up, is it pops out somewhere right around here. I want to have my visitor center right here. And that includes maybe like a couple of petting, almost like petting zoos, you know, little like aquariums and stuff like that. Then you actually start the tour right over here somewhere. And it's a guided tour. So you get in it, and it goes out into this river, and then kind of floats along the river here. I'm thinking the first thing we run into is we kind of go around this island, kind of zip on this side, the northern side of the river, and I have my first thing right here, and I'm thinking I'm going to do crocs right here. I think it'd be cool, kind of a swampy area. And then from there it goes out, and basically what I'm thinking is, actually, you know what, I might zoom in here, and I might have a couple of basic land animals like saber-toothed tigers or mammoths or something living on this island after I terraform it, of course. Then I come on out here, and I'm going to basically show off a couple of exhibits above water so you can kind of see them, and then the whole tour dives underwater and you see it through glass as you're in a glass tunnel. It'll stop at some really cool spots, it'll just slowly cruise by some other spots. I think it'll look really, really cool. Alright, so that's enough talk about the future, because that could be months away, who knows. But for today, we need to make this gate. So what I decided to do is I cut the cobblestone into a bunch of vertical and horizontal slabs, or like slab blocks, whatever the hell they're called. I think they're chiseled slabs. And kind of use them in a pattern combined with some lanterns to make it look real 3D, add some shape to it, some depth. But this is what one of the sides looks like, and I think it's going to look really well once I get the other pillar up. And there we go. I have both pillars up. I think it looks really good at night. Now I need to focus on the remaining two parts of the gate. Obviously, the whole entrance, the bottom part, needs to be cleaned up. I need to make wood across the top, add the name, and I need to make these two gates, and I need to make them swing open. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm just finishing up the first half. Oh no! Is basic. Oh no! Jesus. Come on. Basically, I do this. Let me delete most of this. And let me eat because it's gonna hurt. Basically, now I will glue this all together. Ooh. All the way down to the bottom of the wood. So now that is one piece, essentially. Now I can break all this off. There you go. And I have a little hand crank so I can line it up right where I want it. We're going to move this all the way to only place when anchored or destroyed. And I'm essentially just going to tap this until it takes like 12 taps, because it's slightly more than 90 degrees every time, until it gets right where I want it. See, that's not quite the one. I have to go one more. So one more rotation. There we go. Now it is slightly open, I believe, right? Yeah, look at that. Now all I have to do is replicate it on the other side. Alright, so hopefully y'all enjoyed the first episode of this SMP. I am so excited for the future. I am so excited for this series. But let me be the first to welcome you to the Mesozoic Maelstrom. Alright, so I figured the first thing I need to make for the server is a proper iron farm. We do have another iron farm, however I just wanted to make a higher like quantity or rate of it. So that's going to be along the other side, the other half of the island, along with you know, my lab and an airport and all that type of stuff. The first thing I did is I built a really nice bridge going across the river, and I actually used Mumbo Jumbo's circle generator to make like some open trusses underneath. That way that my tour can pass underneath with no problems. Anyway, once you get over the bridge, you drop down into this hole right here, and I began by cutting out a decent sized chunk. Unfortunately, I had to deal with all this water, which honestly, I mean, if you guys have ever played Minecraft, I'm sure most of you have. You know, water sucks. It absolutely sucks. So I dealt with the water and I expanded the cave and ended up making it 6 or 7 blocks tall instead. That way that I have room to actually build my proper iron farm. Alright, so the first thing that I did when I built my iron farm is I placed a barrel. This barrel is going to be the general collection at the end. You can use the chest, you can use whatever you want. We then place a couple of shafts that come out the side of the barrel and 1 block lower. These are going to be basically the final collection system. We're working in reverse at this point. So make sure that you run some belts to them, and we'll add gears and everything to make them move later on. Once you have those 2 sets, you want to turn around, come behind it, and put shafts. Do not put the shafts inside of that belt, otherwise it'll break the whole system. Just put it directly 1 block behind the belt, and make sure instead of being 5 wide, it's only 3 wide at this point. Again, we will connect them later on, so don't worry about them not being powered right now. At this point, we want to put a vault. I like to just put a big 3x3 vault because it leaves plenty of space, even though everything will pretty much instantly be cleaned. I just think it looks really well. After that, we put down our cauldrons or our basins, and we just want to make sure that we use our wrench to ensure that they're facing the correct direction. So if they face towards the inside like this one did when I placed it, just go and right click it with your wrench and it will switch directions. You want it to kick out towards the front belt. Once you have that, you need to make sure it presses on each of the cauldrons or basins and that the shafts are facing towards the vault. So you saw that I rotated the first one. Now attached to the basins are going to be andesite funnels. That way that things can get pushed into it. And then we're going to have brass funnels attached to the vault. The reason that we end up having brass funnels is we're actually going to use a list filter to put iron nuggets. And basically it's only going to allow iron nuggets to pass through that brass filter, that brass funnel, and go down into the basins. If you don't have this list filter on each of the brass funnels, then the flint that comes out of the gravel can also end up in the basins, and that's just, it's not going to work then. It's going to break your entire system. At that point, you want to turn around and place down your fans, encased fans, and use your wrench to rotate them so that they are both facing inward, and there's a gap of 3 in between them. Go grab some mangrove roots because they're great waterlogging. If you can't get these, then you can use a slab or something else, which can also be waterlogged. And then make sure that you waterlog them, that way that the fans will be pushing through water. At this point, you're going to need lava. So I decided it's time to go to the nether. I actually realized when doing this, that this was my first time in the nether. I even got the achievement, we need to go deeper. So I only need 2 buckets at this point. I figured a real easy one to grab is this guy right here. And then of course, a little one that I found hiding in the corner. The nether really is a cool place. Every time I come here, it just kind of blows me away, man. One day, I think I'm going to make a nether base, but for now, I think that's good enough. Alright, so once we have the lava, we need to run back to our base, or our iron farm. God, it is a hell of a run. I really need to make a waystone out here. Alright, so now you're going to need glass, framed glass trapdoors. Basically, you place these up like so. And you could use normal trapdoors too, as long as there's something that's not going to light on fire unless you have fire tick off. But basically this is to lock in the lava. I like to use glass because I think it looks really cool. And framed glass is part of the create mod, much like the rest of this machine, so you're going to have it available to you anyway. Place the lava on the left side, and in the right side, both directly above the mangrove roots. What this is going to be is later on, we're going to put some brass funnels, just like those two, up above it, and we're going to give them a filter of just flint. So only flint will be kicked out there. Basically, any flint that comes from the system will be kicked immediately into the lava to be thrown away. At this point, we lay down all of our shafts. I'd recommend going at least 4 long. However, as you see in just a second, I ended up going to the maximum length that you could, which is something like 16 in length. But basically you do 4 rows. These are going to be the outlines of where your belts are going to be. So go ahead and connect all of the belts together. Alright, so then once you have your belts connected with the proper length that you want, you're going to put a cog on the end connected there, and then put a second cog next to it. It's important that this cog is not connected to a shaft under the belt, because they will essentially be having the 2 cogs run in opposite directions, and it will immediately break it. So set it up just how I had it, and it should work perfectly fine. But then again, who knows? Every time you make a machine, it feels like something went wrong. Alright, next up, we are going to place down a shaft right in the middle of the 3 on the first one. And this is just going to be so that we can use it to connect a rotation speed controller. A rotation speed controller allows you to change the speed of whatever is coming off of it, as long as you take a large cog and you stick it in the top of it. Whatever you connect to that large cog will now be rotating at whatever speed you set the rotation speed controller to, so you can speed up parts of your machine. In this case, we're going to use it for the fan, and we're going to connect it to only 1 rotation per minute. The reason for that is that the fans actually have the same blowing effect for washing your material, no matter what speed they're at. Next up, we want to use a couple of cogs, a small one up at the upper angle, small one at the lower angle for the fan, and then another large one to connect to the mechanical press. At this point, I decided I did want to make the machine longer, so I actually stretched out to the maximum length that one belt could connect to. God, I hate when you can't rotate these the right way. It's me, not the game, I promise. And then I expanded all of my belts out so that they were fully fitted and fully full, I guess. At that point, I turned around and I dropped my gearboxes to another rotational speed controller. This one is going to control the speed of the center pulley, the center belt. That way that I can clear the gravel from the system and have it washed faster than the items are being drilled and generated. I then laid down millstones on the 3rd from the center or 2nd from the center, depending on how you look at it, on both sides, all the way up and down. This is going to take a lot of your power, so the shorter you make the machine, the less power it actually takes. Then I made sure that I put andesite funnels on both the inside and outside of every millstone so that there's a way for the cobblestone to get in and the gravel to get out. I then placed more rotation speed controllers on both the left and right side, all the way at the back of the belts. Basically what these are going to do is they're going to control how fast my drills go and how fast I'm generating cobblestone. This is important because you really need to dial it in so that you're not just generating an outrageous amount of cobblestone or not enough for your system. Basically it makes it customizable so that you can adjust it to your situation. I ran encased chain drives all the way down, after saying hi to Coda, of course. And then I attached drills at the front to ensure that they can basically break through the stone after I generate it. I turned both these speed controllers up to 48 speed to start, and again, this can be easily adjusted for your personal speed. I adjusted several times trying to tweak it. And then I turned around and I made sure that each of these andesite funnels and each of the drills had a trap door that I could stand up to kind of trap both my lava and my water in my system. Next step was to go and grab some water, and I started water logging all of these drills because they are actually, believe it or not, a block that can be water logged. By doing that, I have flowing water going 1 block to the left, and now I just need the lava, so it's back into the nether. It is nice that Jacob already made all these pathways. And there is a strider that's trying to fly. He's trying to swim up a lava way, so that was kind of cool to see, I guess. Dangerous for him, but you know, whatever. Anyway, I found some lava. I had to grab a ridiculous amount. So I grabbed, what, 40, I think it is? So once you get back with the lava, all you do is you put it in the top glass right here, and technically your machine is ready to go, but it needs power, so I started making water wheels. I quickly realized that those 15 water wheels I made was not enough, and I had to cut out a whole nother room so I can make more. Long story short, I made over 30 large water wheels, and me and Jacob could hardly move because the lag was so bad. So I realized I need steam engines. The problem with steam engines is you can make a really weak level 0 steam engine for almost no power. But if you want to make a level 1 or above steam engine, then you need to add blaze burners. And not only do they have to be blaze burners, but they have to be blaze burners that are fed. And if I want the system to run nonstop, that means that I need to make an automatic feeding system. The plan was to feed them lava, but step one is I need to go and get the blaze burners. Jacob from the Sauropod squad was nice enough to show me his, I guess, his nether tunnels that actually lead to a stronghold so that we can get some blaze.
Okay, I remember finding them like on this level, just kind of around, but specifically down here. Oh, ow.
Watch your back.
There's two of them.
Got one. Buddy, Matt.
I'm going for it. Come here. Oh, he's too far. Watch your step.
Yeah, we gotta be on the other side.
Yoink.
Nice.
Got
There's
one.
one.
Gotta reach. Oh, that is a scary fall. Come on down, sir. Get him. Nice.
Oh, two behind us.
Oh, heck yeah. Charge! Ah! I tried to dip down the hallway and I was not fast enough. Nice.
All right, now that we had gathered a few blaze for our blaze burners and captured them, it was time to head back to the overworld. However, as soon as we got back and I started flying, Jacob gave me this great news, and I just want to be the first to officially congratulate him on hitting 10,000 subs. Good job, man.
But there it is. That's like the first true huge, like actual huge YouTuber milestone that
Dude.
like 5K feels cool, but like 10K is like, bro.
Well, you hit 10,000 subs and I crashed. Damn. Alright, you guys, so I did change a few things since the last time that we're here. First off, let me go ahead and cut off power so it's not as loud. I moved everything on the right side back one spot, and I added a second line. I realized that at the speeds and the amount I was doing, one line would not be enough to keep up with it. So the way that it works, basically, is I have lava trapped up here. I have waterlogged drills. That will generate stone underneath. These drills, which are powered by these encased chain drives, will actually drill out the stone into cobblestone. It's then pushed on this belt into this millstone. The millstones then turn into gravel and push it out onto one of these two belts. These both sides are mirror images, so this left side does the exact same thing. These are pushed forward into this section right here. Before they're picked up, I have a item filter on there that says that gravel cannot be picked up. Basically what that means is the gravel will sit here until it's fully washed. The way to wash gravel is I have these fans pushing through water on both sides, and they're pushing cold water over it. That washes the gravel. Once it's washed, it will either turn into nothing, or into flint, or an iron nugget. The flint and the iron nuggets go into this vault. If it's a flint, it automatically gets dispensed out into lava. I did have to get rid of my second lava because I had to expand this all to the right by one. If it's an iron nugget, it either gets kicked out of this side, which I used a filter again for, or it gets kicked out of this side. Interesting. Oh, it's one longer because I expanded it. Anyway, once they get pushed into either this basin or the basin over here, they will actually wait until they have 9 iron nuggets, and then it will auto compact them down into a ingot. That ingot gets pushed into here, or it gets kicked out here and pushed into here. Either way, it ends up in this barrel. Once it's in the barrel, it automatically gets dispensed out here as an ingot and gets run all the way upstairs where I have the rest of my iron farm and kind of a contraption to turn it into blocks. As for the power, so as I said, I was having major lag issues. So I turned around. That's not a door. So I turned around and made a steam engine. So the way that this works basically is I took the dripstone block, the pointed dripstone, and I put lava up above it. As many of you know, this is a lava farm. So basically it goes down and it fills the lava cauldrons. It fills the cauldrons with lava. I then stuck the create pipes underneath it so that when it gets filled, it goes into the pipes and then runs all the way back here to a pump that gets pumped up into a container. This fluid container, I made sure it was plenty large, so it's full right now. It's holding 96,000 millibuckets. I don't know what MB stands for, but anyway, it holds 96 buckets essentially of lava. When I need some lava for my blaze burners, this guy right over here, a mechanical arm, will actually reach over and grab one from here, feed it to one of the 4 blaze burners, whichever one needs it, and then it's good and it will keep running for about 15 minutes before it needs another one. And then the mechanical arm will actually take the empty container and set it back in here because I have a filter on here for empties. Once it goes into that brass funnel, it gets kicked out here and gets recycled all the way back around to where all my empty buckets are. This entire system is actually hooked up through this one shaft that runs over and runs to here to run my whole thing. Now you see every water wheel, a large water wheel at full speed runs at 512 SU. This alone runs at 49,000 SU. The steam engines are so much better, and as you can see, there's no lag. It just made the entire system better. The only other thing that I have to have for power is I do have to have some type of a way to run the water pumps, which I have water underneath the ground right here. I can show you in free cam. I have a little water reservoir where the water is actually being pumped from. And then I need to be able to run this pump right here, which pumps the lava into the container, and this pump right here, which pumps the lava out of the container into the spout. All 3 of those pumps take almost no power, so I'm essentially able to just set up a basic windmill. Honestly, I didn't even need 1,000 SU. I think I needed like the minimum, but it is a basic little thing that I can set up that takes basically no lag and is really quick and simple. So, yeah, I guess let's hit play. All I did here was I set up a clutch, so it has an on-off lever. If I flip that up, the entire system now gets powered again. And there it goes. As you can see, every time that it clears, it gets filled again with gravel, and all that gets washed. All the way at the back end down here. The nuggets go in. We have 7 right now, 8... Not 13. Jeez, wow. Alright, and once it hits 9, it becomes an ingot, gets crushed, and then the ingots actually end up getting pushed out. You'll see one pop up here in just a second. As soon as one more of these guys crush, there goes one, and there goes the ingot. All right, so the next step was I had to turn around and I had to make my house up top. That was kind of be like, you know, it was going to be like the shop where everybody can see the iron farm and everybody can come and they can collect their iron blocks. Because nobody wants to hold that many nuggets, but blocks? Oh yeah, people like blocks. All right, so next up I realized I wanted to expand the building over the water a little bit. So I went ahead and I started chopping more trees, terraforming, kind of doing that thing. And then I made this gym. Basically, when the ingots come up top, they get crushed into blocks and then get deposited into a vault. It's temporary storage, but it allowed me to start making iron, you know, how I wanted it at least, while I finish up the house. Now I had to decide like the type of blocks that I wanted to have. I figured this like mixed spruce block would look really, really good. And I've already got a spruce bridge, so I just figured it kind of blends. It has that woodsy look considering that I'm in the jungle, but it's got like the light and the dark like logs or planks together that just kind of make it pop. As I continued to build the building, I tried to keep that whole spruce look in mind. However, when I got to the roof, I actually ended up adding some jungle wood because it was a slightly lighter color and it really contrasted against the spruce really well. I don't think you guys understand how hard this is for me. I am not good at decorating. I'm that guy that builds a dirt house and just says, hey, look, here it is. But over the years, I've gotten better. I've looked at Jacob's builds. I've looked at a bunch of other people. GGJ has some solid ones. And I realized if you just add like different depths to it, like I have these windows kind of sunk in away from the window ledges and things like that, it really makes your house pop. So it's the little details I think really mattered. This may not be the most beautiful house, but I am really, really proud of it. And the little touches that I made, I think make all the difference. All right, so after that, I had to take a break before I could finish up the house. And I had something really amazing that was happening. We had a brand new SMP member. We had Banana Milkshake join the SMP. He was super stoked. Jacob, myself, and Neat offered to give him a tour, kind of show off some of the other bases, some of the stuff that I saw in my first video. But honestly, every time that I go to somebody's base, it just gets better and better. So this was an awesome experience. I think it was a great first like vibe to give a new member. But when it was over, it was time to go back. I came back, I finished up my roof, and let me show you guys how it turned out. Alright, you guys, it is officially time for the final tour. Jesus, man, that one butterfly. I swear there's a butterfly in every boat that's left out on this entire server. Seriously. I mean, look at it. Look at him down there. Anyway, tour time. What do you think? I don't think it turned out bad. I like the light with the dark roof. I like the super dark, like with bark on it next to the glass, the different depths with the fences on there. I think it's one of the better buildings I've made, and I wouldn't call myself a builder. I'm an engineer. I make machines. That's what I do, and I like it. So let's head inside. Ignore that over there. That's the next stuff. Anyway, you head on inside. It is a little dark in here. Maybe I'll add some more light. But here on the left, you actually have where the ingots will come in from. They're automatically pushed up from downstairs. Get pushed into this guy. Let's see. We have 6 ingots right now in there. When that hits 8, there's 7. Oh, wait, no. When it hits 9, it will auto smush the ingots, and then it will actually push the block that's made straight over into this item vault right here. And there it goes. There's another one. So people have been taken from it. So I've been struggling to get over 1,000, but I'm back up to almost 800. I was down to 400 yesterday. So that's pretty damn fast considering I wasn't online the entire time. And they can just come in and they can take it from here. I do have some trapdoors. I'm actually going to get rid of those right now. But those trapdoors are because when I first started, I didn't have this filter on here saying only iron blocks can be made. So every time 4 ingots got in there, it would just make a trap door. Now, I like that I kind of put the like stairs right here. I put stairs at the top. I made the upper floor like kind of dip back some and more white instead of like the pillars. I think that really made it pop. If you come on out here, there's not much out here yet, but I think I'm going to put some chairs and stuff just because it's a nice view, especially once I get the tour going, because the tour is going to start right over there. Right about there is where you'll take off, and the tour will end right there. This is a great view of that bridge that I was telling you about, and I put these big openings using the Mumbo circle generator, because it turns out it's hard to make a circle in Minecraft. Before we go on anywhere else, I did want to point out something that I really enjoy. It's this guy right here. Let me go into free cam, and you might be able to see it a little better. But basically, I have lava essentially with rods. It looks like pouring out of the sky, out of the upper building, into a big cauldron right here. It's just, you know, kind of that whole smelting vibe. I think it looks really cool. And then if you come out here to the bridge, you can actually see the lava through the upper window, which I think adds just a whole cool another layer to it. That being said, back here is going to be my maintenance room. So I did add something that I think was really important. If you come back here, I kept getting, as I was building, I would get things that I don't want up inside of that area where it smushes into blocks. So not only did I add the trap door so you have access to it, but I also added this guy. This filter right here on this brass funnel only allows iron ingots to pass through. So anything else that I accidentally knocked in or whatever that got pushed up here gets caught right here. As you can see, some cobblestone ends up in there because sometimes the drill will kind of kick out to the side. I'm sure I dropped that at some point, but my point is it doesn't gunk up my machine. So the next spot is, I kind of flexed a little bit, nothing but iron. So I had iron stairs, lit them up with some glass and some lanterns, iron walls, and just made this place look amazing. And this is the pathway down to get down here now. I've already showed you guys all that. So there's only one room left to show. It is what I'm calling the AFK room. It's not fully set up yet because I want to add power. But we do have a power generator, we have a couch, we have a table right here. I'm probably going to add a lamp to it once I get the power going. I'll have a light switch down here, and I'll probably have like a TV and maybe a ceiling fan, because those are all part of, what is it, Mr. Crayfish's furniture mod. And then of course you can see the machine working down below. And the coolest part about another furniture mod is I can actually sit on it. Check it out, you can actually sit. This is so cool. Alright, let's get on out of here. It is kind of loud down there. Sorry about that, you guys. Well, I really do hope that you guys enjoyed it. Just so you know, that is the start of my workshop. I have begun. So I'm really, really excited for that. And directly behind that, or maybe like behind the iron farm, is going to be my lab. So next episode, I think I'm going to have a lab done where I can start making dinos and start making biogoo and all this stuff, so I can actually get my, you know, aquatic dinosaur farm going. But hope y'all dug it. Till next time, this is Zobua. I love y'all, and I'm out. Alright you guys, so today we are going to be building our create workshop. That means grinders, crushers, everything that we could possibly need to make all of our other stuff in this entire series. But for starters, I had to clear out a ridiculous amount of trees here, and then I had to fill it with dirt. I didn't want to bore you, so here it is almost done. But let's get to it, I guess. Alright, so basically we have a mod on the system, or on the server, where we can use blueprints that we made somewhere else. So I made this entire create setup with all the basic machines, how I wanted them in create mode, and I wanted to test out this mod. It doesn't auto place it for you, but basically I can import a schematic, set it down, and then I just have to get the blocks and put them in there, right? My issue was it didn't go the best. You see, as you can see, I'm messing with it. I have broken belts over there. Now it's off to the left side and it's in my iron farm. I don't know how to bring it down. But eventually I did get it set up exactly how I wanted it. Where basically I have one big loop when you walk inside the building. I have some deployers and some presses on the left. I have a saw and a drill on the back wall. And I have a grinder and like the grinding stone, the crushing stones, and a millstone on the right. As well as I have a very basic, simple level 0 steam engine in the center that's going to power the entire building. Alright, so the first thing that I realized is if I'm going to have a workshop this big, I need massive power. That's a huge steam engine. But as I was walking out, I noticed this. Somebody broke my glass, man. Somebody broke it. I don't know who it was, but I gotta tell you, I'm going to find you. And when I find you, oh, you have a big prank coming your way. I promise you that. Alright, you guys. So basically, I figured if I need more power then that's going to give me, I need to make that giant steam engine. So I'm going to bury it underground. You guys can probably hear it ticking away down there. But I figured, what's the best way to have a steam engine? I figured a hydroelectric dam. So I made this little dam right here. It is a little bit of Googling, you know. I'm not the best at making a dam, and I already got yelled at by Jacob for my roof. So I guess I have to redo that from cobblestone. But I'm pretty proud of this. I kind of handmade a lake over here. If you hop in and actually go down, the lake was originally somewhere way down here. And I built up the sides. I know it's mostly dirt, but I built up the sides and basically just filled it with water so that it looked like the dam was holding it back. Because if you come over to the other side of the dam, the water pours out here and then kind of continues down this river and underneath a nice little bridge that I made here. I thought it was a good touch, and it was a good way to hide the steam machine, which I actually ended up putting right down inside of here. I'm going to make some type of another hole later on, or some type of another entrance, but for now this works because I'm not completely set on that dam yet. Hey little otter, how you doing? Several times while recording this, I realized it was genius to put all the machines in first. I was able to hook them up to basic power, the basic steam engine that I have here in the middle, and I was able to make copper sheets, iron sheets, whatever I needed to be able to make my bigger power system. You see, every time that you make a fluid container or a steam engine or anything like that, it takes tons of things. And if I didn't have this set up, I would be going back and forth to Jacob's workshop 1.5 million times. Alright, now that I realized I want to make power, I thought to myself, why should this only power the workshop? Nah, that's not going to work. I want to make enough power that I can run shafts underground to 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 buildings as I continue on. After all, I still have a whole lab to make, and I know that I'm going to need power in there. So what I did is I made some fluid containers. I made one that's going to be a holding tank for all of my lava in my system, and I want this thing to hold hundreds of buckets of lava. And then I made one that is going to be the basic part of the steam engine. It's going to be the actual steam engine tank where all of the steam and the pressure is generated to give me my power. Once I had the tanks in place, I decided to stick cauldrons underneath them so I can actually collect the lava, and I put my pointed dripstone in, and then I connected all of the cauldrons underneath with a pipe running into the tank with a pump. At this point, I had to run back to my iron farm because I knew that it had, what, 90, 100 buckets of lava sitting in that tank. It was easy grabbins to be able to pull it out of there and just use that as my new lava generator in my new area. So I started laying it down. This lit up the room like crazy. It made me feel a whole lot better because I hate torch spam and I really didn't want to do it down here. But the lava works as an excellent light source, so you know, you have fire tick off on your world. Use lava. Why not? Alright, the last step that I had to do was put down mechanical arms, and we had our final product. So as you guys can see, we have lava sitting behind some framed glass just because I like to be able to see it, and it lights up the room really well. That goes down on the pointed dripstone, which fill up the cauldrons. Those cauldrons are all piped together and run into a tank. This tank over here actually holds 224 buckets. That's 224,000 millibuckets of lava. That is a lot of lava. Like, that's enough to fill most of this room, I think. From that point, the lava buckets gets basically spouted into right here. So we have empty buckets that are in this chest. The chest deposits the empty buckets. It gets pushed forward, and a spout spouts lava into them. Then we have all of these guys under here. These are all of my blaze burners. I actually had to go back into the nether and go and collect a few more, because from mine and Jacob's run a few weeks ago, I actually only had like 4 left over, and I needed 9 for a steam engine of this size. Basically, this mechanical arm can reach up to 5 spots, so it's able to grab a bucket when one of these blaze burner needs it. It can reach all the way back to this corner if need be, and then it will take the empty bucket afterwards and it will deposit it into here, so it gets recycled back through the system. As you can see, I only have, what, 22 buckets there? Plus I have 2 out here and a third right there, so I have 25 buckets total circulating. I don't even need that money. I could use 1 bucket technically, and it would just recycle around again and again, but I don't know. I always just throw in a stack or 2. This thing is crazy. Basically, if I go into free mode under here, I have a little 1x3 area that it's pulling water from. I have a pump set up that's drawing all the water in, and as you guys can see, remember that little level 0 steam engine I made? It only held 2,000 power. Well, this thing holds 147,000. It is the biggest steam engine that you can make without supercharging or superheating these blaze burners. And the only way to do that is to feed them blaze cakes, which I'm not going to go through the effort of doing when lava is so easy. So now that I made the steam engine generating 147,000 SU, I can take all 9 of these steam engines, run them up through 1 shaft, and run that through a series of maintenance tunnels where I can connect the shaft to the buildings that I need to power. So I was pretty proud of myself on this one. Basically, I made the tunnels 3 tall so that I can still walk underneath it when I have the shafts overhead. So from the connector to the workshop, I basically made a tunnel that runs straight over to above the power supply, above the steam engine, and now I just need to connect it. So up next, I had to destroy the level 0 steam engine that I had powering my workshop currently, and well, this turned out to be kind of a bigger mess than I had ever thought about, because I still had the pumps running. So as soon as I broke the steam engine, they started dumping water everywhere, and they were creating source blocks, which just made it even more annoying because these source blocks were hovering in midair. So after cleaning up that initial mess and getting rid of the source blocks, me being the stupid Minecraft YouTuber that I am, decided to break the rest of the pipes. That just led to more source blocks being made and made an even bigger mess. I spent all night in Minecraft cleaning it up, but then once I got it cleaned up, I went back to connecting power and I decided to put a variable speed controller next to the workshop, put it in line, that way that I can adjust the speed of the workshop from 256 all the way down to 1, whatever speed I want, and later on, if I have too many buildings on this power and they're pushing power needs, I can actually turn down the workshop. I thought this was really smart because I doesn't need to be at whatever top speed that I have the steam engines working at, not to mention they might be too slow, so I might actually have to speed them up. So I was just getting ready to actually start building the physical building and surrounding my workshop to make it, you know, into a proper place to visit, when Banana Milkshake, the one, the only, the goofy man himself, decided he wanted some help with his steam engine, and I was more than happy to help out. I love Create Mod. I love to show others about Create Mod because the more that it's used on the server, the happier it makes me. But he had a unique situation, so he didn't need that much power. He only needed about 8,000 SU, so we had 1 of 2 things we could do. Either we could generate lava, we could use a mechanical arm to make a smaller level furnace, like a level, I think it's a level 1 or 2 furnace makes 16,000 power, and that should be more than he ever needs. Or we skip the lava side of it and we make like 4 or 5 different 2000 steam engines. And those each work together to generate 8 or 10,000 power for him. But they only need water and they need campfires. They don't actually need any lava. They don't need it that strong. Ultimately, he decided to go with the level 0, so we stuck a bunch of them next to each other. We powered it up. I kind of showed him how it works, and I stuck a variable speed controller in there so he can adjust the speed of his machine to kind of min-max where he wants it. So one of the things that I did see Banana do while I was over there helping him is he had one of these guys, so I had to make it myself. It's called a quadcopter, and this is a game changer. This eliminates the need for bamboo scaffolding in most places because I can fly up, I can hover in one spot, I can go into first person mode, like first person point of view, and I can actually build, I can destroy, I can place stuff, I can interact, I can fight, I can do all kinds of different things on this quadcopter. I liked it so much that during our Christmas event, I actually made an extra one and gave it out to everybody on the server as a Christmas gift. Now that I had my quadcopter, I had to figure out what I was going to put in the middle. I ultimately decided on a mechanical crafter because that's going to come in handy for several different things. And on the other side, facing, the other way towards the crushing wheels, I think I'm going to put a mixer, maybe a smelter. I haven't really decided at this point, but currently I have a mixer in there. And turns out mixers are actually kind of tough to automate because they only hold so many items. So if you end up having stuff automatically go in, it clogs it up with one ingredient and you never actually get the second ingredient. I couldn't help myself. I got a little bored of building a wall. So I decided to teleport over to Banana's place knowing that he was live streaming and he is working on his building. And I figured maybe I should just, throw some snowballs at him. And then hide behind a hill and see if he notices.
Yeah. Am I tripping? Wasn't there just particles right there? Is it because I break this? No. What is happening?
Alright, you guys, so at this point, he was kind of catching on to me. And before I knew it, he was actually coming this way, so I had to hide. I was crouched down so he wouldn't see my name. And I got really lucky. He passed right by me. So I threw another snowball at him.
Oh my god, dude. Where were you?
Dude, I was hiding right over here.
I ran right past you?
Yeah, I was crouched down so you wouldn't see my name.
Oh my god.
So now that I was done helping out Banana, I decided it's time to make the basic frame. I decided to make like a wooden log frame so that it matches my other buildings, and then start filling it in with concrete and go from there. Obviously I'm going to make a lot of changes so it doesn't look exactly the same, but it needs to have the same theme. So now that I got back into my project and was actually making pretty decent progress, it was starting to resemble what one might call, a building. I got distracted again because Jacob called me up. He called me and Smithy and said, hey, I've got some exciting news. I'm about to hatch all of my beginning herbivores for my preserve, for my area. And I didn't want to miss that. I'm talking about he is about to hatch like 40 different herbivores and just let them go crazy in his new fenced-in area that he worked so long to make. So I'm going to sit back, shut up, and I'm going to let you guys check it out, because this is really cool to see, and it makes me excited about the future of my park. Alright, once the, let's call it, miracle of life took place over at Jacob's place, I had to come back and I had to get back to it because I knew that this project, like every other project I feel like, was just absolutely massive. So I continued by finishing up all the walls and leaving little cutouts up above where I could put windows in. I figured next up I need to add a little bit of texture, a little bit of this whole 3D feel to it. So I added fence boards, jungle fence boards, and basically I added these along several of the vertical like corners. I added them in a few horizontal spots, and it kind of just adds that depth to the building, because if you're going to have a building that's shaped like a cube, you need to make sure that it has different depth. Otherwise it looks very, very basic. After that, I had to figure out what type of windows to put into where my windows go. I figured since it's in the jungle, I don't know if it's that the windows are grimy or that it's the light reflecting off of the green jungle leaves, but green stained glass seemed like the way to go. So I made a whole bunch of green stained glass, I threw it in, decorated it several different ways with the chip mod, because now turns out there's like 16 different types. I ended up going with a chip mod green stained glass pane that had some nice kind of shapes to it and looked like an old school Gothic church with like the black frames that kind of go through the glass. I think it looks really good, and I'll show you guys here in just a second. But as soon as I finished up that, I realized I need to make something on the side of the workshop. You see, later on when I have my full tour that starts out in the river, you're going to be able to look across the river and you're going to see this workshop. So I figured it was the perfect place for a few signs, and I can do that using the immersive paintings mod, where basically I take graffiti, which you make, and you can upload a picture and turn it into a painting and put it into the world. So I had these two beauties. I have one that simply says enjoy the ride, and then I have another that I thought was kind of fun, but in big bold text it says please keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times. Then in super fine text, really small text at the bottom where they won't be able to read it from the ride, it says park management is not held responsible for any damage to body or loss of life. By entering the park, you forfeit any rights to sue for damages. Signed, management. So, you know, now they can't sue me. I finished up my immersive paintings by putting one painting of a create mod cog to the left of the front door and a create mod wrench to the right of the front door. I thought this like pixel art type thing, honestly it just looked cool and it reminded me a lot of Satisfactory. Alright, so now it was time for me to build the center, kind of enclose this last little area. I love those stained glass windows, they're beautiful. But basically in the center section I'm going to have my mixer on one side and I'm going to have my mechanical crafter on the other side. And that just kind of solidifies or fulfills everything that I want to have in my workshop, in my Create workshop. Alright, we are so close, yet still kind of so far. This took me another hour and a half or so, but I need to make the roof. Roofs are tough, especially if it's a flat roof. It's so easy to not look good. So what I decided to do is I kind of made it a chill area where I made a roof that you can climb up to via a ladder inside of the workshop. And then I threw down a few couches, I put a covering over it, and I thought this was really cool. It took a lot of resources, but I actually made the entire roof out of campfires that I put out. I just poured water on them because it gives that like cross beam type of a look that is just so unique to that part of Minecraft. So I figured I'll hang a few lights, you know, make sure stuff can't spawn here, plus it gives it that kind of homey look. Using the chip mod I can turn a lantern into like an open flame type lantern, which is cool. So what do you guys think? I think it looks pretty good. I think it's time for us to take a tour. Alright you guys, here it is. I have my lovely creek from the dam running right through here underneath this bridge. I have my signs on the front, my stained glass with a couple different shapes. You can see that's different, like the arch versus the cross cut. Open this guy up, and I actually have an on-off switch, so if I turn that on, everything starts turning. Flip that off, and it all stops. It shuts it down to kind of save power, plus to minimize lag. If I have somebody that doesn't have as good of a PC or anything like that. When you first walk in, there's 2 crafting tables here, followed by my deployer and my mechanical presses. Basically, the way it works is I can put something in this chest and it will flow down to this deployer. Don't really know why I put chests above the mechanical press, because you don't need them there, but whatever. And this deployer actually won't even work unless I flip it on. Oh, and the building has to be on. There you go. See how that's the only one working? So it has on-off switches so I can control what I want to do. After I've set everything up how I want it, I put my input in and it gets pushed all the way down here to my output. Next up is going to be my saw. So input for saw, it gets cut up right here and then goes to output. Same thing with drill. Input is going to be over here. It gets pushed in front of the drill and then it gets pushed to the output. These two actually share a line. It's kind of cool. Basically, my crushing wheel comes here and it goes up at an angle. You can see it popping out up there and gets dropped into the crushing wheels and onto this line and then through here. My milling stone or millstone, I put stuff in here and it gets pushed right through the millstone onto the same line and then ends up in this output. You can see I have some powdered obsidian already in here. Oh, look, a dragonfly got caught. That's funny. I did end up switching the mixer. So basically I switched it instead to a fan. I have a fan right up here that's blowing down. I can open this up. I've got lava, I've got water, I can set fire, I can do whatever I want right up there, and anything that I put into the input here will get stopped at this brass funnel or this brass basically filter, and it will get cooked or it will get washed or whatever I want to do before it ends up over here. Weird that I have 4 stone in there. That must be from when I was building everything. And then the last thing, let me go ahead and turn this off, is going to be my mechanical crafter. My manual crafter is awesome. I haven't used it much, but it is really cool to see, and I like that I sunk it in by 1 block. Then if you come on up here, it is going to be our spot that we can hang out. I've got, a couple couches. You can sit down. You can kind of hang out, look at yourself. Look, oh, that's a spoiler back there. Don't worry about that. and then you can actually just, enjoy the views. This is actually one of my favorite spots on the server to sit at. I can AFK safely here, and it will run my iron farm as well as run anything in the workshop that I have going on. But it's going to be a great view once I have the tour started from that point. Well, yeah. Anyway, till next time. Hope you guys loved it. But this is Zobua. I love y'all. And I'm out. Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's QuantumZobua here, and today we are building our lab. I'm talking our Dino Lab. Basically, if y'all look straight underneath, you can see that I cut out a huge chunk compared to my other buildings. I mean, look, you guys saw me build the workshop. It was a pretty big building. You saw me build the iron farm. It wasn't the biggest, but it looks nice. Well, look at the cutout I made for this. Basically, the plan is right under me right now, I'm going to have the entrance, and then each of these 4 corners of the star are going to essentially have a section of the dino making process. So I'm going to have the sifters fully automated on one end. I'm going to have the analyzers fully automated on another. And then, you know, I mean, the bats, everything else that you need, so that it's a fully automated system, basically. It's where we make dinos. But in order to do that, I need some resources. I laid out some barrels. It is time to go and steal a little bit, because remember, light stealing is encouraged and allowed on the server. And I promise I'll pay it back. I mean, shoot, I think I've had like 2,500 iron blocks stolen from that building. So, let's do it. I feel like the obvious choice here to steal ingredients for concrete is going to be banana milkshake. Because, you know, why not steal from a boy? He has like 45k gravel, like 44k sand. He's got a bunch of clay, all kinds of stuff. This machine he made is solid. And I find myself stealing from it more than I probably should. But he encourages it, so, you know, it's all good. Alright, so once I had all my white concrete powder made up, I went over to Jacob, the Sauropod Squad's workshop, because I could wash it all. Now, hold on. Shout out to Neat right here, because she made a crazy food generator. It makes, like, bacon sandwiches and like BLTs, and you know, like that one sub that you get from Jimmy John's that is just freaking amazing. I don't remember what the hell it is, but it's like one of the classic ones. Dude, I swear to God, she makes a sandwich that looks just like that. Anyway, basically, if you guys don't know much about the Create mod, you throw in stacks, they get pushed in front of a fan that's blowing through water, and it like blows that moisture and, quote, washes the stuff. With concrete powder, what it does is it actually blows the moisture and it hardens up the concrete, so it's a quick and easy way to like wash a whole stack at a time. So I was able to fly through these, get all my concrete made, and get back to my build. Side note, while I'm here, you can also use it as like a quick smelter. So what I did here is I threw sand in and I smelted it into glass. It takes like 15 seconds, but it smelts an entire stack in that time. So it's super fast, and you do the same thing, only instead of using water, you'll use lava or you'll use fire, depending on what the ingredient that you're putting in is. Certain ones take different ones to smelt. Well, what do you guys think? So I put a whole bunch of glass basically kind of on like the straight sections. I can't call them straight, they're curved. But I put concrete with like wood around there, made a nice little entrance. I think it looks beautiful. Obviously, we have a long way to go, but it's a pretty solid layout. It's like 10 blocks tall. I might make it a little taller, we'll see. But for now, like, I think that's plenty of room for each side. And we'll just kind of go from there. Alright, y'all, so I was getting ready to start my sifter room, and I walk in and I find these guys. It doesn't make any sense because it's behind glass. I guess they spawned in there. But if they spawned in there, where is their banner guy? I didn't see him anywhere. I looked all around the lab, and he is nowhere to be found. So let's go get some stuff, and let's go in there and kill them. They can't be here. Yeah, that'll teach you. Don't ever show up in my lab again. I guarantee you don't want to live here. You won't enjoy it. That being said, back to my sifter room. So basically my sifter room is going to be a automated like fossil machine where I'm going to have a cobblestone generator hooked up to some Create Mod drills. Those drills are going to drill out the cobblestone, then run it through a millstone, which will turn the cobblestone into gravel. The gravel will then be run over sifters, and the sifters have a like 20% chance or 5%, or I don't know, it's some chance to get a biofossil and a plant fossil. Sure, there's still like the tar fossils, but I'm going to do that a different way. As well as it gets me a bunch of other stuff, a bunch of gold and and bone meal and all kinds of stuff. So basically then I'm going to have anything that is fossils be separated into one vault, and anything that is not fossils go into the other vault, which I will open up to the server. And if any of you SMP members are listening and you want any of the stuff in the left vault, come by, grab it whenever you want. Well, here it is. I have all the basic mechanics, like the create machine side of this build kind of set up so it auto separates it. Basically, I have the left and the right funnel with filters on them so that only fossils go into the right vault. And now I just have to connect it to that huge steam machine that I made last episode. But although it may not look pretty, this machine is pretty much ready to go. Well, welcome to my maintenance tunnels. I don't know if I showed this last episode or not, but basically I have a whole like set of corridors that connect all my buildings and all my power connections underground. And they're big enough that I can actually run in them and edit them. So I can make branches, make new pathways, make all that stuff. So it's perfect for running power over to this area and running it up to my clutch and my variable speed controller, so I can shut off this machine when I don't want to use it. So I was recording and testing out how my new machine worked, making sure it all works good before I move on to the next one. When the Sauropod squad jumped in game and asked if I wanted to hop in a Discord call, I did hop in with him, and basically I explained to him that when I was in his workshop, I might have accidentally turned his lava into an obsidian. And I didn't have a diamond pickaxe, so I left it. Apologies, I didn't record his side of the audio, but I still thought it was kind of funny. But thing is, like, I can just, sure, iron's not as good, but I can just run through because I have so much iron. I just haven't cared. But anyway, I accidentally turned your lava obsidian in your workshop. Oh, you just gone. So this part I'm really proud of. I think it really makes the build pop. But basically you can take a smart observer and you can stick it next to a vault, and then stick a display link on there and connect the display link between the smart observer and a display board. And you can actually make it show what is in there. You can have it show what's in there, how many there are, a percent filled. You can even have a progress bar. So basically what I did is I set it up so that I have a progress bar and it shows the percent filled on the vault on the left. So I know when my junk vault is getting full, I can stop the machine and empty it out. And I can always have it show basically the contents of the right vault so that I can see how many of each type of fossil I have in there. I thought it was a really cool idea, and I'm really proud of this one. So here was a fun moment as far as like my whole part goes. I got the achievement for making my first analyzer. I was pretty stoked for that. For those of you guys that don't know, from the Fossils and Archaeology mod, you use an analyzer to stick fossils in, and it gives you DNA for like different dinosaurs so that you can use that with biogoo to bring them back to life. Sorry about that, but come on, could I really call myself a Minecraft video if I didn't put just quick shots of somebody placing a bunch of blocks? It's that shot, and it's the shot of overhead where like you zoom down as somebody quickly builds up with replay mod. Dude, number 1 and number 2, like most common shots in all of Minecraft. Anyway, so what I did for this part is basically I'm gonna have my fossils go from a vault in the front. They are going to drop down onto a conveyor belt underground, and then they're going to get pushed up with a fan and some chutes onto another conveyor belt through some brass tunnels. And the brass tunnels will basically auto separate the fossils. So if I put 16 fossils in at once, it will split them up because it will split them up into like 16 sections so that they can all be divided equally into the different analyzers. From that point, they will be analyzed into whatever DNA I need them to be or whatever it decides that they are going to be. And then they'll be dropped down underneath the analyzers into the ground, and they will head over to my next section of the building, which is actually going to be my freezer. So when it comes to the freezer, or the deep freeze, just like every other room that I've built so far, I have to clear out the ground, I have to replace it with concrete. Yeah, I have to make it look pretty, because nobody likes an ugly build. In fact, pretty builds, they kinda do it, you know? Anyway, I started by putting down some basic vaults. These are going to be like the centers of where the vaults are going to be. And then I went underground to where the belt runs from my analyzer, and I put a fan at the end, which I'm going to basically run a mechanism with and hook up to power so that I can shoot air up through a bunch of different chutes. And just like in the analyzer room, I will be able to raise the items up so that I can push them up to be sorted into the like deep freezers. I thought about pushing like 4 different sections up so that each vault has its own fan, but I thought it would be a lot cooler if I pushed up at one point and then just moved it over. Once I had that all kind of set up down below and connected, I realized I needed to do my belts. So what I did is I put smart chutes on top of each of the vaults. That way that I can put filters on there to accept certain types of DNA. At this point, once again, for probably the frickin' millionth time, I ran out of belts. And if you guys don't know, the way to get belts is you go and you get a bunch of kelp, just gather a whole bunch, you smelt it, into like that dried kelp, that like burnt kelp crap, and then 6 of that turn into 1 belt. Keep in mind that sounds really tough, but 1 belt, who left this on? You're welcome, Jacob. Anyway, 1 belt does not necessarily do 1 spot. 1 belt does 1 like strand, so I can make it like 20 blocks long and only use 1 belt. So once I had my new belts and everything that I needed, I came back to my freezer so I can finish up the last few little sections of it. And lo and behold, I found a new little friend. Yep, it's one of those guys. I found a traitor. I don't know how he got up there, honest to God, but I left him and I stole his llamas because I thought, hey, you know who needs llamas? I know somebody that needs llamas. So I walked him over with a lead, loaded him up on the plane, figured, hey, will they stay attached? Let's find out. And sure enough, they do. They kind of just fly with you. I do feel a little bad about this. I dragged them a little low, and right there, I lost one. But I made it all the way over to the sauropod, Jacob's house, landed at his runway after seeing his beautiful, beautiful, beautiful enclosure. By the way, if you guys haven't checked out his channel, go check it out. He's got dozens and dozens of different herbivores right now. Really, really cool build. Anyway, I thought it would be fun to bring him a llama. My first thought was, let's stick it to the windmill and have it spin around, but that didn't work out. So I figured this is probably good enough. Leave it on his porch. Who doesn't appreciate a good llama, you know? I mean, it was almost Christmas time at the time. So I figured, you know, Merry Christmas, enjoy your llama. And then I realized I'm not sure if I know how to spell llama, so I tried furry friends. Turns out that doesn't fit on one line. So I took a chance. I'm pretty sure that's how you spell llama. I don't think I actually looked it up. But if you're seeing this, Jacob, let me know if you found your gift yet. Because I know that you were offline for a couple weeks dealing with some personal stuff. What was that sound? Jesus, scared the heck out of me. Anyway, once I got back, I realized my freezer is mostly done, so I just turned around and started making the floor. I want to make kind of a cool design, so I decided I'm going to do like almost pathways around the edge with like a dark concrete, not black, but I'm going to use like a gray concrete, and then I'm going to fill in the rest with like a white, you know, the whitish concrete color, the white concrete. That way that it kind of like generates paths that go in one big square all the way around my circle in the center. and then I have sections that kind of break off from there. So as you can see, it just kind of, honestly, it looks pretty good. And then I just have a section that goes to each of the 4 pathways. Back to the freezer. So now that I had everything set up, it was time to test out. So I threw a couple stacks of fossils into the analyzers. You can see some bone meal going. I think I saw some sand. There's a fossil, and there's a second one. A red one and a yellow one, which I believe red is like mammals and yellow is a certain period. I don't really remember which one it is off the top of my head, but you can see them coming in here. So the system is working great. I still need to finish setting all the filters. As you can see, I have most of the yellow guys set, but there's still a lot to do. Now I need to go and test out with tar fossils. If you guys haven't seen this, I got tired of all the worms on the server, so I turned around and made this. Every time that I'm at spawn, I just dump my worms in here, and we're going to fill a vault one day. So this was one of the first builds they built on the server. It is the pub. It looks beautiful, and basically below us we have a tar generator where I can actually come in and grab tar drops. I was a little surprised to find out this was the first time I held tar drops. I actually hadn't held any tar before this, which is kind of crazy, honestly, but, you know, I guess there you go. So once you put it in, we can test out the tar drops. Takes about 10 seconds, and you'll see all the analyzers light up. There it is. So they are now analyzing tar drops, which will give us tar fossils. It also gives a lot of coal, charcoal, all kinds of different things like that. But just like all the other fossils, they should kick out of the bottom. Yep, there goes some different stuff. Oh, there's a tar fossil. There's a second tar fossil. And you can turn around and run those tar fossils back through. All right, so the freezer is done for now. It's time to move on to our biogoo farm. So for those of you that don't know, in order to make biogoo, you have to combine 4 things. You have to have milk, you have to have wheat, you have to have zombie flesh, and you have to have eggs. So I dug a hole underneath where these vaults are, and I figured down below I'm going to set up a machine that can kind of automate, like make our wheat for us. And what it will do is, just like a lot of other basic crate harvesters, we're just going to have a spinning set of harvesters that trim the wheat. What happens is as they spin around, they will actually harvest any wheat that's fully grown, and then it will auto take the seeds and replant any wheat that is not grown. Then I hook it up to a chest. That chest will end up running into the hoppers, and those hoppers will push everything up using a fan all the way up to the vault up above so we can use it for biogoo. This is a decent way to make it. I ended up changing it from the wind turbine to actually a water wheel down below, just because a water wheel tends to move a little faster, and it just looked better in my opinion. Not that I need it to move faster, but I don't know. It just seemed nicer to me. So once I have it all set up, I plant the seeds, get them going, and it will be ready to automate itself from this point forward, as long as it doesn't get stopped by some entity. And I gotta tell you, later on when I was dealing with the chickens, God, they stopped it every 2 seconds. Alright, at this point, I need to get the cow. So in order to get buckets of milk, I need to put empty buckets into a deployer, have that deployer poke the cow with the bucket. It will fill with milk, and then I need another line that comes back and takes the bucket of milk to send upstairs. Once the bucket of milk is upstairs, it will get grabbed by my system, used to make biogoo, and then I need to make a way where it returns the empty one back down. So as you can see down here, it's pretty much set up. Now I just had to go and get a cow. I'm just going to apologize right now for this, because I went back to Jacob's place. Also, look at this sick landing. Just saying. Killed it. You call me Sully. Just kidding. That was a joke. My bad. Anyway, I stole one of Jacob's cows. Up until this video comes out, I'm not sure that he noticed. And I'm pretty certain that he doesn't care. That being said, I definitely didn't ask permission. So, you know, he always tells me light stealing's allowed. I did the old llama thing, tracked it behind my plane again. This is always terrifying. I'm always scared that like the line's gonna break somehow and it's just gonna, I don't know. drop to its death, and I'm gonna feel horrible. I know it's just a Minecraft cow, but like, dude, I'll feel horrible. Alright, so once I got this guy back, I dragged him all the way down, shoved him into his spot, where once I turn it all on, he can be poked away, and I can start harvesting milk. Come on, man, get back just a little more. I need you in the right spot. This was a pain. It took me like 10 minutes to push him back far enough to get one more piece of dirt in here. Alright, so now that we have wheat up here and we have milk, I threw a few chickens down there on top of some hoppers, and as they lay eggs, the eggs will get pushed up. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't want to make a whole mob farm, so I went and stole a couple thousand zombie flesh from Smithy. He's got a grinder, and then I sat there and AFK'd to make it up. Thanks, Smithy. I appreciate it. If you guys haven't checked out Smithy's channel, go check it out. The links are definitely down below. Alright, at this point, I needed some type of a mechanical arm. Now, mechanical arms are annoying because you have to put 3 different things into the deployers, and then you have to run golden sheets through 5 times. So you put a golden sheet that gets pressed with a small cog, then a large cog, then an iron nugget. And the most annoying part is not only do you do it, but then you have to pick it up and do it again. So watch this. It'll get run through 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, all the way through. So all 4 just got done. They're not done. They're only 20% of the way done because they need to get run through 5 different times. And even then, they only have an 80% chance of success. There's still a 20% chance that they will just break at the end. So even though my system is pretty solid, I still have to run back and forth 5 times just to deal with these things. And I got super unlucky with these and had 2 break, and I had to redo it. It sucked. So once I had that all set up, I set up some mechanical crafters. Basically, you want to change these so they point all in the direction where you want them to move. And then I set down my mechanical arms. If you pick up a mechanical arm, you right-click it. Any blue sections are where it's going to pick up from. You click it twice, it'll turn orange. And the orange section is where you are going to have it drop off from. So for most of these, I just have the basic standard pickup drop off. For the one that's grabbing the milk bucket, I actually have it pick up the milk bucket, drop it off, then again drop off the empty bucket back into a hopper so that it can, or a chute, so it can go into the system to go back down and be filled with milk again from the cow. So it was a basic circulating system, nothing too crazy, but honestly, it was kind of a pain in the ass, and took me way more stress and way more time than I think it ever should have. So once I have that set up, this is the return system for the milk. Once I have the vaults all made and built up, I can kick that out. At this point, I went over to get some iron, and I noticed something. Even though people have been taking all my iron, which I appreciate, I made it for people to take, I'm finally over 3,000 blocks. Like, that's blocks of iron. So what, that's 27,000 iron ingots? Like, that's outrageous. That is so much iron, and I'm so happy. And look at the fossils. I'm at, what is that, like 389 plant fossils and 200 and something of the biofossils? That is so freaking cool. Alright, so once I got to this point, I built up my vault. Worked on making my vault a little bit bigger because it's going to hold all this biogoo, and it will actually hold the empty buckets as well before they're kicked back into the system and like recycled through to be refilled. By having this whole recycling system, it means that I never have to deal with it again. The same buckets will just be cycled again and again. I did make a mistake here. I chose andesite, which kicks out everything. If I chose a brass funnel, I can actually put a filter on it to make sure that only milk buckets come out. I know this has been a lot, you guys. It's kind of crazy. I'm excited about how it's turning out. There's still so much more to do, but I think I got to end it here for now. We got to make this a 2-parter. I hope you guys dug it. Till next time, I promise we'll finish the lab. This is QuantumZobua. I love y'all. And I'm out. What's going on, Quantum Crew? Welcome to what I'm hoping will be the last episode of my lab. After this, I believe that I can get my lab fully set up so I can make some dinos and everything. And then that means that I can make my first exhibit next time, which I will put out a post for to see what you guys want me to do first. So if you guys haven't already, go and vote in that post, go and vote in that posting. And I'm going to go get started. Let's do this. So the first thing that we did, like most videos it feels like nowadays, is we went over to Banana's machine and we robbed him blind. We took sand, we took gravel, because in all reality, my build requires a lot of concrete, and Banana just always has between 40 and 50,000. This machine he made it's truly amazing. Then it was time to make my concrete powder, head over to Jacob's workshop, because if you guys haven't used the Create mod, trust me, it is the best mod out there, hands down. And I can quickly turn it into hardened concrete without having to pour water over it and die a million times. So I'm going to make an elevator. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but using Create mod you can make an elevator that'll take me up to my Skylab. I need to lay out the basics. Basically there's going to be 4 wooden like posts that go up and support it, and the elevator go in between them. But first off, I need to feed my chickies. You see, the more chickens I have, the more eggs I have, and the more eggs I have, the more biogoo I have. And biogoo equals dinos. So you know, chickie break. Anyway, back to it. And there it is. This view is going to be amazing once I have it built. I have like distance horizons off right now, but you turn it on and from this high you can see the Sauropod Squad's ranch, you can see their windmill, you can see Spike Space. It's going to be really, really cool. But for now, I needed to finish up this damn elevator shaft. Basically, I used my pallet that I've used on a lot of things. I made out of concrete, glass, and concrete vertical slabs. I think it turned out pretty well, because you can see all 4 directions through the glass. So now it was time to build the top platform. Basically, I wanted the top platform to stick out a whole bunch, but I didn't want it to just stick out at a 90-degree angle. So I had to make these stairs, and I had to make slabs, and I had to have it gradually get wider and wider until it was big enough for me to be happy with like the size that the second floor would be. After all, I decided I'm making my actual dinos up here. I'm not birthing them up here, obviously, but I'm going to make the eggs up here. So I need to make sure I have plenty of space because I've heard horrible things about the Phalosaurus. Alright, so I got distracted by Banana Milkshake and Mr. Creeper Reaper. They were surprised I hadn't seen Mr. Creeper Reaper's new build yet. Now, I can't show it on this video because he hasn't released it yet, and that's just rude. He's still working on finishing it up. But if you guys are subbed to his channel, go bug him. If you're not, hit that sub button down below because he's a collaborator on this, and you can sub to him. Tell him to get that video out because it is one of the coolest builds I've ever seen in Minecraft. Now, this cool thing happened though. I found a giraffe. I didn't even know we had them. What type of trees are those? Just weird shaped oak ones? They might. Hey, a village. The hell is that? Hold on. How do I get out of here? The giraffe. So after I checked out Mr. Creeper Reaper's super secret awesome project, I brought him back here to show him what I had made, to show him how a elevator works in Create mod, and to give away a whole bunch of this extra stuff that I had though.
Yeah. Okay, well I did grab a Megalodon for my lagoon.
Yeah, no worries. You're good. Grab a couple if there's more in there. I don't know. Honestly, free game right now. Grab whatever the hell you want. I don't really care right now.
Alright, cool.
So once that was all taken care of, I got busy on my elevator. You see, Create mod actually has an elevator. They have pulleys. They have entire mechanisms that can be moved. And I wanted to make one. So I did start out with 4 doors. I thought it'd be really cool to open to like all 4 directions. But it was a pain, so I ended up getting rid of 3 of the doors and just having 1 door on the elevator. But I wanted to make sure it was kind of like Willy Wonka's glass elevator, because I wanted to be able to see out all 4 directions as you go up. I think the visual really helps. So once I made the glass and put all the doors down, I had to cut out the bottom so I can make, you know, a proper floor for it. I didn't want just basic white concrete. I wanted like a slanted floor made out of these wooden stairs. So now we get to the elevator part. So the elevator part's interesting. You make these redstone contacts and you put one on the elevator, and then you put one where the elevator is going to touch. So basically if I place this right here, and then I turn around and I place one against it, it will know that that is a floor. I can then right click this contact and I can set it as floor 1. If I do the same thing in line directly above or below, then I can set that as floor 2, floor 3, floor 4, whatever I want. That way that when the elevator is operational, I can go to whatever floor I want just by clicking. Now the last 2 steps of adding an elevator in somewhere is to add a pulley at the top. You have to have a pulley directly above whatever contraption that you have glued together, and that will be able to pull the elevator straight up or down. The issue is you also have to run power to this pulley. So I made a windmill because I sure as heck was not going to run power all the way up from the bottom. Honestly, because I already designed the shaft and I forgot to add an extra spot for power. So we're going to stick a windmill up here. Eventually I plan on having a beacon, and I'm going to have a giant beam shooting out of the top of this lab that extends into the sky. In order to complete your elevator, you need to put elevator controls inside of the elevator so you can control it, and then just right click the pulley. It'll extend a belt all the way down to the top of your elevator and be able to pull it. I do recommend a speed controller attached to the system. That way that you can actually change the speed of your elevator. At this point, you can rename and select the floor identifier. I just went with floor 1 and floor 2. I called it the lobby for floor 1, and floor 2 I called my sky lab. Well, let me know in the comments what you guys think of my elevator so far. It does get a little better, but I'm going to shut up. That way that we can take that super awkward elevator trip. Well, once Banana and Creeper Reaper found out that I had a working elevator, they had to come and check it out. And these 2 goofballs, man, God, they're fun, but they are always trouble. I love having them around, though.
Why isn't that,
Why is it
where's
not
2?
work?
It's up. It's at the top, I think. If you look
No,
up.
it's at the bottom. You're in it.
Oh,
Yeah, no, is this thing?
Yeah, so
Scroll
up and then
scroll
right
wheel.
click.
Okay.
Oh, we left.
We
it.
do what? Huh? I can't even
Hold on,
see it.
my
What do you?
bad.
Wait, what?
You can't see.
Get in the elevator, bro.
It's see-through. I don't see anything.
What?
Whoa, he just walks through it.
Wait, is my game bugged?
Whoa, whoa,
What the
whoa, whoa,
hell?
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Bro,
whoa,
I'm
whoa,
ready
whoa.
to-
Walk
I-
towards
this
me.
is-
Walk
this is
towards
a
me.
wall.
What the fuck?
Look, it's bugging.
What?
Let me leave.
What the world?
So once we got DJ, Mr. Creeper Reaper, onto the elevator, I took them both up to the top so they could see how this whole thing works.
Most advanced thing I've ever made and create. It stops there.
Dude, I'm so stoked because I realized I forgot I needed a 5th room where I actually make the eggs. So I decided I'm going to make them up top and have a sick lookout. Well, sure enough, what the chaos known as Banana Milkshake does is immediately hit DJ right off the side of my tower. And I can't wait. Oh, and he's gone.
You.
Are you able to catch yourself? We've practiced this, DJ. We've
I
practiced.
know.
Oh god, do you guys have your grappling hooks?
No.
Oh, GG. But yeah, anyway.
Are you about to police what I think you're about to police? You might want to back up.
The contraption. What contraption is this? A semi-truck?
Yeah. I had to move it, so I made it.
Semi-truck contraption.
Yeah.
I love it. So after showing them around the entire shop, I was showing DJ and explaining some stuff about my auto-sorting vaults. But I took my eyes off Banana, and you know that's always a bad thing, because out of the corner of my eye, I realized he's gone, and I thought I saw some movement. Hole is 16 items. Oh, he's in my seaplane.
Hijacking your plane.
That thing's cool because you can take straight off like a rocket.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Good luck getting out of it, though.
Oh, why is it still going?
Oh yeah, Jacob ran into that problem too. I don't know. My plane's just broke as Jake.
Oh, get in
Oh,
the plane.
come
save
back,
it.
come
Oh, no,
back,
it's gonna
come back.
Oh god!
I got you. I got you. Oh,
He almost landed in the lava up top.
there's a butterfly in here. Is that why?
Oh, that butterfly's hanging out. That's probably why it keeps going. Listen, now, I'm not saying that Banana Milkshake stole my plane. And why would he? I mean, he has his own planes. But I never saw this plane again after that day. They landed it, DJ landed in the lake, parked it. I walked away, never to be seen again. I don't know if the butterfly stole it. I don't know if Banana stole it and is just screwing with me. But it's gone. So, whoever has it out there, I hope you're enjoying it. I know you guys may not believe me, but out of this entire build, this was by far the hardest and most annoying part. You see, I already had these curved walls on the base, and I had to use the Mumbo Jumbo Circle Generator to follow the curve. And then I had to now take that curved section and match it up with another curve to meet the top. I redid this thing like 3 or 4 times. I spent 2 or 3 hours after work every day for like 3 days redoing it again and again, just trying to get it going. Now I gotta tell you, it needed glowstone, and it turns out the quadcopter, it feels like a cheat code. Look at this, you can just fly right over and mine it. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of the quote-unquote final like design of the first floor. I think it looks pretty dang cool. Now that that was all done, and I finally had my platform for the second floor, it was time to start designing it. Obviously, being a huge lookout area on top of the whole office space at the top, I needed to have glass as a full 360 view. So I started out by going with all reliable at my base, spruce. Now I did run into a little problem. Jacob, the sauropod squad, was running a little low on spruce. So I decided to AFK overnight. I just want to let y'all know, if you're ever going to borrow from your friends, make sure you refill their farm. I sat there and I refilled like 4,000 logs or something like that. I ended up having to do it again because this build took so many logs. I mean, I probably used like 5,000 or 6,000 total at least. But I did pay it back, and that's what's important. Anyway, between all of these logs, I then ended up putting leaded clear glass, because when you put like framed glass, it still has those 2 little like lines, those boxy lines. Whereas if you do leaded clear glass, which is it's a modded glass, then you actually get full like clear windows with nothing else in the way. As for the roof, I basically wrapped it all in like a light wood layer, just because I thought it would match the floor. And then I actually replaced the floor because I figured this would match down below. I did want some type of natural light coming in, so I added a glass ring that goes all the way around. It's like 2 or 3 blocks wide. But this is it. It's a fully enclosed room. It's got glass on all 4 sides. I guess it can't be 4 sides because it's a circle. And when you come up inside of the elevator, you are in like an enclosed space, so that when the elevator's not there, you can't just accidentally fall down. Well, I personally think that it looks pretty dang good so far. However, a lot of the coolness effect is in the details. So I started by adding different lights and different fans. We have Mr. Crayfish's furniture mod, which will basically allow us to add fans, lights, light switches, all kinds of different things. In order to control all these, I decided to make a maintenance room, which is floor -1. You just kind of drop down, and that means that I just need to kind of start cutting it out. So I can put a generator down here, I can put breakers as general light switches, all that type of stuff, and just anything that I need for all of my shops. I'll probably actually add access to my maintenance shafts down here as well. So in order to use the Mr. Crayfish's furniture mod, you just put fuel into the generator and then turn it on. Then you pull out your wrench, and you can actually use the wrench to connect the nodes to two different things. What I just connected here was the workbench. Basically, if the workbench is powered, I can put resources in and I can make anything from the furniture mod. I can make furniture, I can make lights, I can make fans, I can make computers, I can make all kinds of different things while it is being powered. One nice thing about this too is that it is invisible unless you have the wrench out. So as long as I keep my wrench out, I can actually right click on the node and then I can head upstairs and I can hop on my drone and turn on these fans, connect them. Once I connect one fan, I can actually connect the fan to other fans because each connection point has several other things it can connect to. Now, one thing to keep in mind as well is if you're going to have a lot of different devices connected to it, this generator can actually only connect to 6 devices at one point. It can connect to like 60 or something like that, like run 60 different things on a power source, but it has to be webbed out. So what I like to do is I wanted to basically put a breaker box section down here, and I would connect each of these light switches to the generator and then connect each of them to a section of the lab. So I might have one of these switches run the entire Skylab. I might have one run the sifter room, one run the lobby, one run whatever I want. That way that it can hit the connections that it needs to, but I can also control what's going to be there. Once I had them all laid out and decided how I wanted the light switches in my maintenance room to be set up, it was time to start doing my connections. And I gotta tell you, when I have my wrench out, this thing looks like the biggest mess of spaghetti spiderweb I've ever seen. Luckily, nobody can see it unless they have that wrench in their hand. Well, it was time for another visitor. GGJ logged on, and I gave him a tour of what I had done so far. And it feels kind of cool, but just like everyone else, he was kind of blown away by the elevator.
Hello. This way.
Yeah, it's constant audio.
Yeah. Okay. So this is going to be
my lab, my Dino Lab.
Hey, this is like mine. I did this, but underground.
Did you really?
Have you not seen my underground?
No,
it's not as big as this though. So you got the same type of idea, but mine's got like my lab's in there, and then you come through and you come down, and you got. But instead of you've got like a, what is this?
So it's an elevator. Here, go ahead and hop on.
Wait, what?
We'll go to the second floor.
Wait, we're moving. Wait, what?
Yeah, dude, it's part of the create mod.
How did? There's an elevator. You made an elevator in Minecraft.
Yeah.
Wait.
All right, everybody up. I haven't built the top floor yet. That's what I was gonna work on today. But
what's the view like? Holy Hannah!
Yeah,
oh my goodness!
One thing to mention, unfortunately, I had a corrupt video because my computer crashed while I was recording. But during that recording session, I put some dinosaur skeletons in the lobby. I put lights under them. I thought it looked really cool. I put one on each corner around the elevator, and then I put 2 hanging from the ceiling, a couple of aquatic life forms. I thought it was really cool. Once I was done showing off everything to Jay, he decided to give me a tour of his place. And I gotta tell you, it is amazing. I'm gonna give you guys a quick montage. As amazing as Jay's builds were, it was time to get back to the spaghetti known as wiring, and I had to wire up the rest of these lights. So I wanted to make the front wall of all 4 of the lobby rooms look pretty much identical to how the fossils room looked. I like that whole log, the stripped log, and then the glass like door in the middle. I thought it looked really good. And then I figured I can hop into Microsoft Paint, make myself a little sign, save it, and use our immersive paintings mod to put a big sign above each side to, you know, signify and show exactly what it is in there. Well, I was the only one online, and Scuttles joined for the first time. That's right, a new member to the SMP. So let's all welcome Scuttles. Hey, what's going on, man?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Let's go. How's it going?
Not bad. Is this your first time on?
This is... so I briefly hopped on before I had to leave town just to make sure that it would actually let me, like, load into the game and everything. But I was only on for, like, a couple minutes, so this is my first, like, official time to get on and actually, like, check everything out, pick a spot, and do all that sort of fun stuff.
Awesome. Well, I would be honored if you'd let me give you a tour. So I gave him the typical tour that I gave everybody else. If you guys haven't checked out Scuttle's channel, go check him out. He is very early in the builds, but he is an incredible builder, and he's a really funny guy. So yeah, the SMP grows. It's always nice to see new members. Alright, so I figured the easiest thing to do at this point would be to give you guys a tour of how I decorated it. I could sit here and show you how I decorate everything, but it's just way cooler to see the output, the end result. So as you can see, I got plenty of fans up here. They're all lit up, which is really cool. I have lights all around so that nothing can spawn. And I actually ended up putting lights in the ground right here as well. If you go all the way around the gray section, I have several spots where I've actually embedded lights to kind of give you a lit experience so that mobs don't spawn on you. As I said, I did put all these skellies here. I think they look really good because, again, I embedded lights underneath that kind of just light them up. They look like spotlights on displays, as well as I've got a couple of hanging guys up above that are kind of suspended from chains. One there and then one all the way back there. As for my rooms, you guys saw the basic builds of it, but that's about all you've seen, I think. So I have this guy, the fossil room. Of course, I made the sign, just like I just showed you guys. And I have it, it's actually running right now, so I have a whole bunch of extra stuff in here. I have over 500 of both types of those fossils, the plant and the bio. And let me go ahead and turn this off, because I don't need it running. I've got plenty. Once you're done with the fossil room, we come on over here. I'm going to grab a stack of plant fossils. And you come to the analyze room, or analyzing room is probably what it should have been. In here, I'm going to drop these plant fossils in so they can all get sorted. They have the whole round robin system. You don't see anything happen until suddenly you see all of them light up working. There it goes. And I've got two desks here, so I've got some biofossils in here, little you know, model essentially, and a place for somebody to work. And then I've got a place for a second scientist to work over here with a different model, because, you know, everybody has their favorite dino, and this guy's working on plant fossils instead. So as you all know, once it's done with that section, everything moves underground and gets fully sorted into my DNA freezer. My DNA freezer could probably use a little work. Turns out snow and ice is actually really tough to deal with, but I think I did pretty decent. I added a couple fans for circulation, and I added a whole bunch of different types of ice. You can actually see stuff going on that one. Every time that there's something tall, yep, there goes something, there's another. It's pretty cool to see because it's like clear ice, and as long as I don't have any heat near it, the ice won't melt. As well as this packed ice I don't think it'll ever melt. You could have a torch right on it. But this is all fully sorted, just like I showed you before. So we have like our megalodon, we have our plants, you know, we have the different eras as they are as different colors, as well as the overflow, which again, oh, I have 3 that I haven't sorted yet. I need to make sure I get all 3 of those in, and then run these tar fossils back through. Last but not least, for the lower rooms is going to be our biogoo room. Our BioGoo room currently has 165 BioGoo in there. I have taken quite a bit out to put to other places, but as you guys know, I have the farms down below. I have Smithy's beautiful, beautiful rotten flesh coming out right here. I have my milk from my totally not tortured cow down below. And basically it grabs the milk, puts it in, and then takes the empty and drops it back into the system. It looks like I am currently out of wheat, which means my machine probably stopped for some reason. No, it's going. It's just going slow. I wonder why it's not replanting these. I guess that's a problem I have to figure out. Huh. Anyway, once they are all made, it makes BioGoo and it drops into the vault and just kind of does that over and over again. It is now time to focus on upstairs. So life finds a way, as Dr. Ian Malcolm said. Let's go do it. So the plan for upstairs in the Sky Lab was that I wanted to have you exit the elevator into an area that's kind of like a break room. You're going to have couches, you're going to have TV, you're going to have a fridge with some food in it, and then the other 3 sides around the elevator are each going to have 3 culture vats with a couple of barrels and some storage areas where I'm going to keep goo. I'm going to keep maybe a couple skeletons, you know, some fossils. I'll keep eggs and DNA and all kinds of stuff, kind of like people and scientists are up here constantly working. I'm also going to take one of these and probably throw a bed in it, and it's going to be my office, essentially. I'll probably fully decorate that one as my office, and if a couple other SMP members decide they want an office in my lab, they can fully decorate theirs as well. That being said, there are going to be 3 offices up here. We are going to make basically glass cubicles where you walk by and it's a giant glass wall that you can see in to their desk. You can see their computer, you can see models that they might have, jars of BioGoo, things like that, so that it's like they're actually working on the dinosaurs. I think it turned out as a really cool vibe, and it's honestly probably my favorite part of the entire build. That's it, you guys. That's my lab. My lab means that I can now make dinosaurs, which means my next video is going to be my first enclosure. Ichthyosaur. That's right, the one that looks like a dolphin. I'm going to start with that guy. I posted like a post on YouTube, and that one got hands down the most votes. So it's what I'm going to incorporate. Anyway, it's time for one final tour before I say goodbye to y'all. But I hope you guys did enjoy it. Enjoy the tour. And till next time, this is Quantum. I love y'all. I'm out.